there's a word everyone agrees on: tolerance. It sounds sensible, calm, adult. The kind of word that suggests we've moved past conflict. But here's the question no one asks. Is tolerance actually progress? Or just a way to avoid hard conversations? Because tolerating something isn't the same as understanding it. And it's definitely not the same as fixing it. What tolerance really means. Let's be precise. Tolerance means enduring something without interfering. That's it. You tolerate noise. You tolerate traffic. You tolerate things you'd prefer not to deal with. So when tolerance becomes the goal of social policy or culture, we should pause and ask, is this the standard we're aiming for? Historically, tolerance has often been a holding pattern, a way to keep order without changing structure. Not oppression, not equality, stability. And stability is useful, but it's not progress. Why tolerance feels so appealing? Tolerance has one big advantage. It's low cost. You don't have to agree. You don't have to engage deeply. You don't have to rethink your assumptions. You just coexist at arm's length. Psychologically, that's attractive. It reduces friction. That avoids conflict. It lets people feel reasonable without being challenged. The problem is, most meaningful improvements don't happen without friction. The limits of passive coexistence. When tolerance becomes the end goal, certain things stall. Understanding stays shallow. Trust stays limited. Cooperation stays conditional. Groups may exist side by side, but they don't integrate. They don't build together. They don't challenge each other productively. Over time, that creates a quiet divide. Not hostility, but distance. And distance is where misunderstanding grows. How tolerance can preserve the status quo. Tolerance is often used as a neutral position. But neutrality has consequences. If a system produces bad outcomes, tolerating those outcomes doesn't improve them. It simply normalizes them. That doesn't mean every problem has a simple solution, or that change should be rushed. But tolerance can become a substitute for thinking. A way to say, we acknowledge this exists, and we'll leave it there. That's not malicious. It's cautious. But caution, taken too far, becomes stagnation. The innovation problem. Here's a less discussed issue. Progress depends on useful disagreement. On different perspectives actually influencing decisions. Tolerance allows difference to exist. It doesn't guarantee difference gets used. When ideas are permitted, but never integrated, organizations and societies lose valuable input. You don't need perfect agreement. Without that, diversity becomes cosmetic. visible but not functional. A more practical alternative. So what's better than tolerance? Not forced agreement. Not constant conflict. Not ideological conformity. A better target is engaged cooperation. Willingness to listen. Willingness to disagree respectfully. Willingness to adjust based on evidence. It's slower than slogans. Less comfortable than tolerance, but far more productive. Real progress happens when people aren't just allowed to exist, but are expected to contribute and are taken seriously when they do. This isn't just about society. It applies at work, in families, in communities. Where do you tolerate instead of engage? Where do you avoid conversations because they're inconvenient? Where do you prefer calm over clarity? Tolerance keeps things quiet. Engagement makes things better. They're not the same. The challenge isn't becoming more tolerant. It's becoming more capable of working through difference. Without denial, without hostility, and without pretending that coexistence alone is enough. Tolerance is a starting point, not an end point. And mistaking it for progress is how societies stop moving forward.